With us is Ian Corrins. Ian is a Borgward enthusiast. Ian, tell us about your blue car.
Well, the car originally came from Tasmania. It was bought new in Tasmania, spent most of its life in Tasmania. It ended up at a dealer in Adelaide about 8-9 years ago when Willie Cerrone bought it, and I bought it from Willie 2 years ago. So I've had it 2 years, and it's an original car.
So you really haven't done much restoration?
No, it's had a paint job, same colour as the original. Other than that, just a bit of cleaning up, touching up at it, usual things on an old car.
None of those wonderful surprises we all find in restoration then?
No, it looks like it was well looked after.
And what's it like on the road to drive?
I drove it to Kalgoorlie last weekend, first long trip, and it's very comfortable. It goes very well, 60 mile an hour, about 34 miles to the gallon. So I was very happy.
Very acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, that is for an old car.
Tell us about its idiosyncrasies. Being European, it probably has some pretty avant-garde sort of technology.
It's actually, I wouldn't say it has many weird features about it. Just the strangest thing, they don't have armrests on the door, so you have to open the window to pull the door closed. But that seems to be the weirdest thing I've come across.
Well, thanks, Ian. Perhaps we'll talk with Willie now about his 1960 Borgward.
Yeah.
Willie Cerrone, part of the Vintage Automobile Association of WA, is well known for his vast collection of cars and a huge number of restorations. Willie, tell us about this one, the Borgward.
Well, this one I bought from South Australia probably about 9 years ago, and like usual it's supposed to be an older restoration, and of course by the time I got it home, what's supposed to be an older restoration was a bucket of rust. So I virtually had to pull the whole thing apart and put a new floor on it, and quite a lot of work went into it actually. We were saying the difference between the 59 and 60. The 60 has got armrest, where the 59 hasn't, and the grille is slightly different. So apart from that, they're basically the same car as the 59.
So it's been a full restoration then?
Yeah, it's been a full restoration. And the other thing I did do, as you probably noticed, to get one of these in convertible from Germany, which you wouldn't be able to get, but you're probably talking $60,000-$70,000. So I did the next best thing, and I made a convertible out of this one. Very same shape as the original one, so I made sure everything is very much the same.
So in that sense, it's the only one here in Perth?
This would be the only one in Australia convertible, yes.
And to drive, very similar to the coupe?
Very similar, yeah, very similar. Yeah, they have coil springs all around, as probably a lot of people would know. So they're quite a fancy little car. They've got a 1500 motor overhead valve. The factory guarantees it at 92 mile an hour, but when England did a test on it, they got up to 100 mile an hour, which is even today's standards. I feel it's very, very good.
And why Borgward? Did you grow up with them as a young man in Europe?
I did have one in the early days, back in probably 1960, the same model as this one actually, 1960, and I've had about 7 Hansas at that time. So just recently I bought another Hansa sedan, which are a bit hard to come by. The station wagon are quite easy, but the sedans I only bought a few out. So I've completely restored that. Well, it's 99% finished now, so basically finished.
And what about a list of the other brand names of cars you've got in your collection?
To start off with the older one, 1927 Studi, which I took to Canberra and back again, drove it all the way down and back. 29 Studebaker Erskine, 1938 DKW 2-cylinder, 1957 DKW, which is a 3-cylinder, they're both 2-strokes. 1963 Studebaker station wagon with a sliding roof, and of course this one here. Yeah.
And tell us about the colour. It's unusual for a 50s car.
Yeah, no, they actually, if you've got the original brochure, it actually shows this colour on the front page. So they make quite a few different colours actually.
And when you're restoring, your aim is to make a car, bring it back to concourse condition?
Not probably exactly concourse, because I do like to use the car, but they all look, pretty good. I've won trophies for this, the same as with the other ones. So they're not quite concourse, but close to it.